Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Stella Olivia Kikoya, and I'm a chartered marketer, a senior lecturer in marketing and business here in the UK. But I'm also the founder of the Stella Woman, the magazine, the podcast, and also in charge of live events, and also the Stellar Woman Academy. I'm here to help really elevate the consciousness of what is possible for women and in all women so that we can live a full life and a life of impact. So my work includes also NLP, being an NLP practitioner and a timeline therapist. And as an editor-in-chief of the Stellar Woman magazine, we're here to spread thriving women's stories, knowledge, and experiences throughout the world so that women can be themselves, but also be able to learn, tap into this knowledge, and make impact in their families, communities, and in the world. At the same time, as an academy, we're here to really rise women into their confidence, enable them to lead purpose driven lives and create and build legacy driven lives and brands. So that is a bit of the introduction about me, and I'm excited to be here. This is some of the work that I do. It represents the magazine, the podcast, the academy, and some of the work that I do with the Street Business School, that is to coach their coaches. And Street Business School is an organization that is here to shift women who are below the poverty line to go into generation wealth. So they are moving generation poverty to generation wealth. And the work they do is just so amazing. And Stellar Woman is really honored to be there to work with them. And we've worked with so many amazing women, as you can see on the magazine, and their stories are very impactful stories that we believe that once they are tapped into, the consciousness will be elevated of every woman, no matter where they are in the world. So today, my topic is about the unshakable branding and brand positioning confidence. This is what we want women to build into. And I'll give a background on why I went into this, why I decided to talk about branding and brand positioning. To me, what has happened in the world today, everybody is talking, and a number of people are in a position of guiding others. But what I find when I talk to people or when I get clients, it's mainly clients who have been in the marketplace and created their brands, but they're disappointed. They don't even like their banners. They don't like even the logo they have. And sometimes they don't even understand what is behind that logo. What is behind the work that has been done. When you ask a question, so why did you choose that color? They ask why. I didn't even think about that. I just thought I had to choose the color I like. So people just think it's about choosing the color they like or the font they like, and everything is disjointed. And also, when they go into the marketplace, this is what happens. They are not confident in what they are doing, and they can't even explain what they are doing. So any form of confusion that comes up, it shakes them to the core. So I am here to really bring about that confidence, that guidance that you need when you go to any professional to work with them, whether they are brand strategists or just graphic designers. I'm here to help you really be able to step into your position as a woman entrepreneur, a coach, or a consultant, to know why you make those choices, whatever choice that you make, and be able to stand in the power. Because what people don't understand is that any brand aspect is about an expression of what is within. And this, as we see, does not matter whether you're talking about corporate brand or a personal brand. Everything starts from within. Branding starts from within, and people start from outside. But it's actually an inner job in a cycle, whether it's a corporate brand, there is a soul. Each brand has to have a soul behind it. And that soul is what I want to make sure that women tap into. And in that way, they become unshakable. They can stand in their power and in exactly what their brand stands for, and be able to be confident, because many people feel lost and totally confused. And let's take it, it's a very, very noisy marketplace. Like Steve Jobs said it almost 25 years ago. It was a noisy marketplace then. I don't know what you feel like today. So in our work, as I talk about our brand, the work that we do. So in the academy, we see that we believe that women with passion and desire for purpose can bring about change in today's world and become a stellar woman. So we are about becoming a stellar woman, becoming that. And truly, these are the amazing women who bring about change. We are talking about women changing the world. And we are very fortunate, like I said already, that we have these women. I take it that I've lost connection. I'm hoping it's going to come back. I'm going to just continue with this. I don't know whether the connection has just lost on my side. All right, I lost connection there, but I don't know why that connection was lost. So, for that woman entrepreneur, coach, or consultant, do you find yourself that do you feel misunderstood? Are you not sure of your vision? Are you in a position where you don't know how to find your target audience? Or are you a woman who doesn't know how to find your unique position and stand out in the marketplace? So this is the session that is going to help you make a shift on those key aspects today and give you the unstoppable, unshakable, and confidence that you need to be able to serve the people that you serve. So this is where we want to feel. This is how I would like you to feel in the marketplace. Come from the confusion where you have lots of questions to be a woman who is full of confidence. You have clarity of your vision and conviction of your offering and messaging. This is what we want you to feel like. You know your target audience and you have a unique, clear position, and you become unforgettable. So we want you to have that position of total confidence and conviction in the marketplace. I hope you're excited about this session as I am. And in case you have any comments, please just put them below so that I can be able to get them. And don't forget to say yes, yes, yes to yourself in all the aspects that I ask. I would like you to really get into conviction. Don't forget to also raise your questions just in case you have any. So why fit in when you are born to stand out, Dr. Sales? So this is really important for you to understand that branding and brand positioning are here to help you really become the unique person and to offer that uniqueness to the world, or to the target audience that you serve. Now, as we start on the journey of branding, just like you are an entrepreneur, I'm sure you will agree that when you think you can, or when you think you can, either way, you are right. Now, when people come into branding, they are sometimes in hazy situations. So they find that they don't know where they want to go, here or there, or I can't do it. Even just branding, coming for that session, you find that people are in the can't. So you need to first empower yourself. And once you're empowered, you're going to be able to make the right decisions, ask the right questions to those who guide you. And we know that the reason why I'm doing this is that there's a lot of misguidance, and I want you to first feel empowered as you go for this guidance of branding. So why am I emphasizing this? Apart from people being confused, entrepreneurs not knowing why they are standing up for a brand that they are not fully aligned with, why they don't even like the colors that they chose at a particular point because they were not completely well guided. And today, I want to assure you that this session is so important. And when you make a choice to go into branding or to brand, you're really stepping into something that is key to your business, to building your legacy. Remember, we are talking about legacy building. Yes, yes. Exactly. So, as you can see, branding and brand positioning is about creating that clarity and consistency for everyone that is involved. This is not just about you, this is also about the marketplace. This is about your target audience. This is about also your business partners. So, the brand is going to do a lot of work that is beyond yourself. It's an inner and outer job. Remember, outside it's going to reflect exactly what is within. So branding also helps us to justify why you to the target audience. They need to understand why they have to choose you. It helps you to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. Remember, we said the marketplace is full of noise. It is so much a full market today, and it is key to really stand out and be your unique self. It also gives us a chance to have a value perception. It helps us to justify that pricing strategy, that mark that you decide, which is also actually part of branding. When we're building a brand, it helps once we have a clear branding and brand positioning, then this helps us to amplify our story, whatever brand story that you have. You start with a brand and then you're able to build a brand story. To build engagement and loyalty is all depending on the brand, whether it's a personal brand or a corporate or business brand, but also adaptability, relevance, and expansion. So, as we expand, we need to have had clarity and conviction of where we stand in the marketplace, and that clear brand uniqueness that we have chosen is key. Now, Steve Jobs really amplifies the aspect of branding. And when we talk about branding in the marketplace, even today, we really signify Steve Jobs. He was so much about branding. Your brand is the single most important investment that you can make in your business. So do not take this lightly. So once you choose a brand, once you get into branding, take it seriously, and as this is going to be the most important investment. What I also want everyone to remember is that many things can actually be taken away and copied by other people in the business, not your brand. So you hear all these fights between Samsung and Apple. Yes, they can copy each other in terms of features and other things, but they can't copy the brand, each other's brand. So you can now understand why you need to take time to invest in your brand. Don't take it lightly. So let's look at the top ranking brands. This is also to signify why I'm choosing this session. You can see in the ranking of 2024, we're in 2025, of just the brands. This is known for the whole business. Apple is a trillion worth company, but look at the value, 516 16 billion, 516.6 billion US dollars. That is the value of the brand itself. So there's no way we can decide to ignore or to put less value and effort, time on branding. I hope this has elevated your understanding why you need to take time on branding and think about your choices. We're going to see how you need to step into that power and make the right choices, or if you have guidance, ask the right questions. So, this is going to build that unshakable confidence. Remember, I would like you to have that unshakable branding, brand positioning confidence. And this is where you're going to be. And I hope that one day, one time, your brand name will be part of the ranking of that year, and it will be worth of the value over and beyond what Apple is. And as we can see, Steve Jobs started in a garage. So if you are in a garage today, you just don't know where you will be at a certain period of time. So take time to actually invest in professional guidance when it comes to branding. So, when I talk about branding, I've talked about Apple a lot. What strong brand names do you know? This is going to be key in helping you really come to that standpoint of also standing in the same power. And why do you know them? If we take a minute to say, why do I actually know that brand name? Maybe you use it, maybe everybody talks about it, maybe it's the loudest in the marketplace. That is still important information for you right now. I hope you've listed at least one or two strong brand names that you know and why you know them. Very good. So now let's move to the next aspect. And here, so some of the brand names, I don't know if one or two flipped your mind. That is on this slide. As you can see, these are some of the ones I put out. I hope one or two of them has come to mind. We are going to come and use some of them in the next session, and this is going to guide you. So, branding strategy. In the branding strategy, the why is key. The why is key, and this frustrates me in meeting business women who cannot even explain clearly the why. I just love the color. I just love this. I just love that is not sufficient. You have to have a clear, strong why when you're talking about branding or brand positioning. Why is always going to be key, and your choices matter. So, what is the brand as we move forward? And I don't know what you would come up with what a brand is, but here you are. A brand can be a name, a symbol, a tagline, a URL, a visual style, storytelling color that helps to distinguish a company and its offering from its competition. Remember, we talked about you coming out and standing out uniquely in the marketplace. But as we can see, actually, branding is not just about that. It's also more than above. It's the meaning you attach to the above. When we see Nike, what comes to us? That is key. Yes, we can identify it, but as you can see, the brand is even beyond just a symbol. A symbol is part of the brand, but branding is beyond that. Remember, meaning that is attached. And I'm going to ask you clear questions about that meaning. What meaning do you attach to each brand that you know? So you listed a couple of brand names, and I pulled out two of mine, and I have meaning that I attach. So when you see mine, maybe they are look at they are the same as yours, but if we can also use yours, it doesn't matter at this point. If we look at Apple, what meaning do you attach to Apple? For most people, when I ask them, including my students, marketeers, I find that Apple is seen for seamless innovation. Okay, that's the meaning that they attach, and that's what they're about. Nike is talking about athletes. So when you look at Nike, it's not just about shoes. So meaning is very important. It's not that they do or make good shoes. That's not what they're about. The meaning that resonates with the target audience is key. And that's where you need to go now. We need to go to the meaning of the marketplace. But as we go, before we go into the meaning, I want you to think about some of the things I'm talking about in terms of a brand. Some people get confused when we start talking about branding and where the brand starts. Am I still talking about the brand when I'm talking about this? Yes. So in a simple exercise in this very minute, as we go into the meaning, you're going to see as we evolve what the names of the brand, we're going to start to get the meaning. We are going to understand how this founder or entrepreneur came to develop these products and make decisions that distinguish their brands. So some organizations decide to create a brand as an organization. And I want you to think about name one brand that is an organization. Remember, this is a learning session, it's a workshop. Name an organization, name a brand that is an organization right now that you know. Okay, very good. Most of the brands will be organizations. Maybe you're talking about Apple, maybe you're talking about Virgin, maybe you're talking about Microsoft. But then there is a brand that is called a product. And once you start this area, we find that lots of people start to be confused. Oh, what are you talking about now? Yes, there is a choice you have to make, and there will be meaning behind all of these choices. Some organizations decide to distinguish their products from the organization. For example, when you say the iPhone is not Apple. I find people say, oh yeah, at this point you're saying, oh yeah. So the iPhone is a product. The Apple is an organization. So we have MacBook Pro, we have iPad. Those are brand names that are products, and services can be in this category as well. Banking services, most of them will have a brand that is a product. A brand can be a symbol, just the symbol Apple is a brand as well. And as we go through this, we'll see a brand as a person. And maybe that is what is your key interest right now. So whether you're branding yourself as a person, and I would like you to use this exercise to think about a brand as a person. I don't know which names have come up in your mind, but one of the significant ones that I know is Oprah Winfrey being a brand that is actually a person. But we also have others, like one that I like, which is Richard Branson's. I like him as a brand. So this is a brand that I love very much. That's Virgin, and the brand as a person. You as an entrepreneur, you're going to make choices right now. Remember, it's about empowered choices. When you decide to be a brand that is a person, you're not just Oprah or you're not just Taylor Swift, but you create also an organization that just mirrors you as a person. Richard Branson's, when you see him, what brand and what comes to your mind? I guess you've moved into the space that I'm thinking about as well. So write down the brand as a person. For him, he's about adventure, it's about fun. And everything about Virgin is about fun, adventure, and boldness. And we're going to see how Virgin is Virgin as well. These are key strategic choices. They are key strategic choices that he decides to make. And everything he does is going to be always mirroring what the Virgin brand stands for. Yes, yes. Fantastic. I am glad that you're getting it right now. And here you could be standing in your, do you want really your brand, corporate brand, to mirror you? Is that what you want? That means you're on the face. You stand in front of the brand. Some entrepreneurs make choices where they're not behind the brand, and we rarely relate the brand name, the corporate brand, with them. That is still a strategic choice you have to make. Now, before we still go to the meaning, I also want to highlight the aspect why he chooses what we call family branding. And I hope you're able to see this image more clearly than it is, but than it appears right now. What we see here is that brand names can be branding can organizations can decide to attach whatever service to a clear brand name. So Virgin cannot have, it can't be Atlantic. It's not then the brand name. It is always going to be Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Spa, Virgin Money, Virgin this. It's always Virgin. So that is where they have decided to uniquely position themselves in the marketplace. That is a clear decision. But we can see what we call combined branding. You can make a choice to brand based on either the product and then combine it with the corporate brand. And that's what Apple has done. So when we look at Apple and we have the iPhone, behind the iPhone, there's always the Apple logo. Behind the Mac, or the MacBook Pro, or if you look at any of their other products, we find that the watch, everything has the Apple logo. That is what we call combined branding. That means each product, each service has a unique name, and it can go out in the marketplace, but it has the corporate brand so clear to it. Yet there are organizations like Procter & Gamble where or Unilever, where the brand can always just be unique and you don't even know the company behind that product. So those are branding choices. Now the key is why they make those choices and what is the purpose of those choices. And for you, what are the choices you have to make today? Or what choices have you made but have never thought strategically what they could imply in the marketplace, or even where they belong in the marketplace? Remember, branding is strategic. It is for a long time. It's going to build your legacy. We are here to facilitate legacy builders. So what is your brand? And what meaning is attached when your target audience sees or hears your brand or brand name? We want to understand that element. What is my brand? Okay, if you have a brand, that is. And if you didn't have a brand, now it's time to think about the choices that I have put forward for you. Are you going to take branding as a product? Are you going to take a brand as a family brand name? It is all strategic. So, how do we get into this space of strategy? And why do we have to take it? This is Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs emphasizes that marketing is always about values. Remember, we said branding is an expression of the inside, the soul, the core, the essence of creation. So, if marketing is about values, so we are now within the invisible is happening. It's a complicated and noisy world, and we are not going to have a chance to get people to remember much about us, and no company will ever do, not even Apple. So, what we have to be is to really be clear about what we want them to know about us. So, the meaning, the previous slide, is very important for you. the meaning you want people to attach to your brand. And this is where I am going to guide you. And this is where you build the unshakable confidence in branding and brand positioning. Because when they ask you questions and you have a clarity of the meaning you want to resonate with your marketplace, then you're going to be unshakable, then you're going to be unstoppable, and you will never doubt yourself. You're going to become unforgettable in the marketplace because the meaning is what your target audience is being attracted to. Your business partners are showing up for you because of the meaning. And that's how we focus in branding strategy on meaning. But how do we evolve the meaning? Here, alignment is key. So we go deep down in what we call a brand onion. And behind that brand onion, which is still reflecting how branding comes about, there is a key aspect, which is the purpose. And that's where I'm going to zone in mainly, and the vision, values before you create a brand. So do not go into branding without clarity of purpose. And this is what I find lots of coaches into. They are sweeping from one side of purpose from one message to another, one target audience to another. Why? Because they don't have clarity of purpose, and they make investments into branding and change their mind tomorrow. So your clarity of purpose is key, and writing your vision from that purpose, and then creating the values, sitting down with yourself and thinking about the values you want to stand for or the business is going to stand for. So whether it's a personal brand or a corporate brand, values are very important. Then the brand is going to exactly reflect those values, and that's what people buy into. I hope you're getting this bit. What is your purpose? Why are you doing what you are doing today? And who do you want to serve? We see that without a vision, you have no direction. And without direction, you have no purpose. So there is no reason why you're starting what you're starting without really sitting down to clarify your purpose. There's no reason why you go to the graphic designer or branding strategist, yet you lack clarity and purpose. And this is the total confusion. The confusion of your target audience starts with you. It starts within you. You are totally confused. Hence the reason why the marketplace is confused and really makes you also get lost with the rest. You cannot really stand out when you don't have clarity of purpose. Yes, yes. So if you have your purpose, raise your hand and let me know that you have your purpose and you stand strongly into it. Remember, my purpose is really to raise the consciousness of what is possible in women and for women. And how we do it is through all what we do in the Stellar Woman. So we want to elevate that consciousness. We want to rise women into their confidence, into leadership, purposeful driven leadership, and to build legacy driven brands. And that is what we want to do. So you have to have that clarity of purpose. And Steve Jobs on purpose, and why you really need to sit down with this. Although Apple is today a trillion company, and if you remember, that is an iPhone. It to him, he says, being the richest man in the cemetery does not matter to me. Going to bed at night saying I've done something wonderful, that's what matters to me. And as well too, I want that to really matter significantly. And as we can see him in the garage, his parents' garage, where it all started. Where it all started. But it all starts with a purpose. It doesn't matter where you start and how you start. It is the purpose that is key. The why you're doing what you're doing is key. So if you're a person who has struggled with a purpose, I want you to ask yourself a few questions. And this is where you ask things. Why are you doing the work that you're doing? What great problem are you trying to solve? What movement are you championing? Can those questions help you resonate that purpose? I want you to sit down with it before you go to the graphic designer. And if you're with a branding strategist, they should be able to ask those questions. That is the sole purpose of your business. If you don't do it, what are the consequences? Who loses out? We want to understand who is going to lose out. And then we can ask, who else is going to do it? Do you know who's going to do what you're doing? The uniqueness of that, of answering these questions, how you answer them is going to create the uniqueness of you or your brand or your offering in the marketplace. I hope now everything is coming to surface. Why will others need to show up for you? I work with so many women. I interview amazing women across the globe. I say Australia, we have women from US, Canada, India. We have women just across the globe showing up for these interviews. I have women who write for the magazine and they're all over the globe. Why should they show up? Why should they meet these deadlines? They have to understand and buy into your purpose. But key also, the people you're trying to reach should be able to buy into the purpose. Now, those questions are going to go with another element that I want you to resonate with. It's called the 7 levels deep. And I don't think, although I've quoted Dean Gracias, but that's the person I know. Dean has another person he credits for these 7 levels deep. It too, you can look at it when you have time and ask yourself these deeper questions. As an entrepreneur, have you actually thought about them? Most people I know have already done the branding, and you start to ask these questions, and they are all over the place. And then you can ask, why am I struggling in the marketplace? Why you're not family? Why you're changing every time and again your target audience and your messaging, confusing yourself and confusing those who clearly want to follow you, but every single day you confuse them. I find this in business meetings, network, and someone has changed. They say, but how come you've changed? Oh, that wasn't working. That is the problem. Go deep down and ask yourself 7 levels. What is important about becoming successful or impacting others? You ask these deeper questions. Get someone to resonate with you, a coach or a business trainer, to take you through the 7 levels base. Because this is my passion, really, to ensure women elevate with purpose, elevation with clear purpose, not something you've copied and has worked well with others. Don't do that. Don't copy. Don't copy. You are unique and your appeal is so much needed in the marketplace. Your significance is key, and we want exactly that today. So there is a YouTube link which I can give again as well, but that YouTube link is so much about what Steve Jobs talks about in terms of value. Let's look at Patagonia, and I hope that's an organization you know. I wanted to divert away a bit from Apple because I talk about it so much. Patagonia believes in building the best products, causing no unnecessary harm, and using business to inspire and implement solutions to the environment. This is their sole purpose. Now, remember alignment being the congruence of purpose, vision, and values being key to branding. Time for you to stop right now. Give it a minute. I know a minute for this session is what we have, but that's not what you have. You can give it more time to clarify your purpose. As you have made decisions whether you want to position yourself as a person or you're here for a business, now time to sit for the purpose. If it's a business, if it's going to be a product offering, a service offering, or if it's going to be about you, or if it's whatever it is, time to sit down for a minute. You can stop this video in this very minute and be able to answer what your purpose is. Okay, I hope you had it already, and if you didn't, this is the time for you. And when you're ready, you continue with the session. So, here is what Steve Jobs says. Our customers want to know who is Apple, and what it is that we stand for, and where we fit in this world. So you too want to answer a question. Your customers want to know who you are. Who are you? And what is it that you stand for, and where you fit in this marketplace? This is a key slide that I don't want you to miss. And still, you can stop and answer it. If you've already written down your purpose, time to answer these questions. In answering these questions, and as well as the 7 levels deep, we are going deep down in the soul. This is work that is beyond 1 hour session. But that's why it's very important to stop the video in all the times that I ask the question. Maybe it's the key instruction I should have mentioned before. You stop the video and answer this question. This is how legacies are built. Okay, when you're ready, you continue with the slide. So the next element that we want to talk about are your values. Most likely you don't know what the values are, or if you do, fantastic. It's time to place them. Whether they are 5, 4, whatever it is, I just gave the maximum really values you should have. Beyond this, it's going to be a bit confusing, but you need to have your clear values, because branding is about the soul. It's about what is within. And like Steve Jobs said, it's about marketing, is about values. If it's about values, we cannot create values until we have purpose. That's why we started with purpose. But now we're going to focus on those values. Now, if at all you don't have values, it's time to think about it. And I've used Dare to Lead Values by Brené Brown. And this can help you to be able to pick some of the values. The values are extended beyond this. Pick the key values, and I want this to enrich you. Remember, it's about creating the unshakable branding and brand positioning confidence. So now these values are going to be core in the choices you're going to make. It's unbelievable that people don't know this. It is unbelievable that people don't know this. So after making the choices, and if at all you're new to values, please take time with this choice. The good thing, you have this list out for you. Fantastic. When you're ready, you can continue with the video, or if you really just listed them because you know them by your fingertips, maybe you know optimism, you know openness, you know you're going to be caring brand, or if you know anything or all your values, then just put them down as we go to the aspect of branding. So branding here, this picture is just that. It's your purpose is generally your picture, and the brand is the frame. So it's going to just always amplify what you have already. Just express it, take it to the next level. And that's what marketing does. It doesn't take away the purpose. It is very important to make the right choices of branding. So this picture, if you put it in this frame, you might be burdened. And if you put it in this frame, you might feel like that's so nice. Frames are very important. And when we have purpose and we don't put them in the frame, sometimes the people trouble over the purpose. This is where people look at the picture and put it down. But when we have the picture having the frame, and this is what branding and marketing does to your purpose, it starts to stand out. It starts to be significant. It starts not to be, it can't be ignored anymore. So let's take time and significance for this role of branding. Once you put the picture in the photo frame, it stops to be ignored by yourself and anyone else. So that's why we have to do this work. So when you look at your branding, for those of you who have already done branding, especially, but those who have, which colors to use in your logo and why did you use these colors? So this is where we start to express. Remember, the values are hidden. They're not by the founder and maybe some of the support system, but the rest of the world doesn't know one. And we're going to now project that. We're going to now reflect it to the world. We're now going to attract our target audience. We are making choices of color. So it doesn't matter whether your childhood color was green and you still like green. It is about the purpose and then the values. Each color has a key each value has a key color that actually communicates or expresses that value. Yes, yes. And now we are in understanding why of those choices. You've chosen green, but you are talking about maybe boldness, maybe fun, but you've chosen green because it's always your great color. But the business you're trying to communicate is about fun. So this is where we start to miscommunicate. We are talking about something else within and expressing something else to our target audience, hence the confusion. And I hope now that is making sense. So remember to stop always this video to pick up exactly the information I'm sharing with you. So red is about power. So we can see the stellar woman. Why we chose red? It's bold. It's bold. Women cannot build legacies unless they are going to make bold decisions. And I wasn't bold as Stella. I was always quiet, shy, timid. But boldness is an aspiration. It was always an aspiration. So when I was creating the stellar woman, I clearly knew what I wanted that woman to become. The choice of the brand name, the choice of how the business is going to be was always clear to me. And the colors had to be chosen not from the place of where I was, but it was from the place of the vision. We haven't covered vision here, giving you vision statements because of the time, but you're going through how to come from your purpose, which is at the core, at the essence of the business. And I didn't want to leave that, and also the values. Because of time, go through the value system. Choose the colors that really resonate with the values you've chosen. Stop this video as you make these choices. And if you made them already, I don't know where you have to go, but many organizations, many even big corporates like Uber, Starbucks, all have gone through rebranding because branding cannot be ignored. It cannot be ignored, but it's very costly, really costly if you look at the amount of money spent in the rebranding strategy. So you can also look at the negative feelings that come from colors. These also can help you to move away from a particular color and go to the other. You have to ensure that you resonate even with the negative aspect as well and say you are fine with it as long as it communicates the key aspect. So when you tell me red is anger, yeah, boldness has that element of fire that brings about, and anger has that element of fire that comes with it. So you can understand how though you make those choices and what could come from a negative aspect that could come from it as well. Okay, the topography. This is very key. Why I'm talking about topography towards the end and as I finish is that generally when you choose a topography, it too is communicating. Um, whether you're choosing Tesco Bold or Stellar Woman, as you can see it here, it is a key choice, or you're going to choose the calligraphic kind of topography. These are key choices that you cannot ignore. I've seen women choose services and talk about boldness, and yet they are choosing very light calligraphic handwriting, and it's going to communicate boldness. Now, even in the topography, we know that bold is bold. So you have to make choices that are reflecting the value system. I'm going to come towards the end for this, mainly because I want to quickly talk about brand positioning. So when we talk about brand positioning, we are thinking about perception. Every choice has to be perceived. Don't forget that perception can even be real when it is not reality. So, in brand positioning, you're trying to distinguish yourself to the marketplace, but in the mind of the target audience. Your target audience is always going to be perceiving, just perceiving. So, just like we see here, this particular image, if you look at it, what do you pick up? You can stop the video. For many people, it's a rabbit. Other people, it is a bird. So we see people really perceiving differently the same aspect. Perception is very much key, both in human behavior and actually in consumer behavior. Both aspects are very important. Perception is key, and you need to be perceived right in the marketplace. So remember, we're going to work around being unique, being relevant, being consistent, and being credible. So don't go out in the marketplace and see how credible you're going to be and miss out on being unique. Step into the power of emulating your true purpose. And I hope in giving you these key aspects in branding, you're going to be able to strategize and ensure that you have your uniqueness. Today, you should be able to be clear. By the end of this session, I'm sure you're now in conviction of who you are. And at the point of finishing your purpose and your values, something is coming to you in terms of who you're going to be serving, or you're clarifying that and the uniqueness of who you are beyond other players in the marketplace. We are not about being better than others, we are about being different. This is what branding and brand positioning is about. It is so much about that. So if you have any questions, I would like you to ask them at the end. So don't forget, these elements are really key when we come to brand positioning. That is beyond branding. You're now trying to look at the market category you're serving. You're going to look at your target audience. We're going to think about their pain points and the identity we've decided to choose and the values, and then give a brand promise. I can't take you through all of this. This is just something for all of us who have come for this session to work around with their branding strategies and become unshakable. Remember, it's about really you stepping into the position of the unshakable branding and brand positioning, confidence. Never be shaken again once you have those key variables. So I've repeated this so many times as the time has moved on. But what is really important, as you can all see, is that element that I want to go back to as I summarize: alignment and congruence between your purpose, your vision, values, and finally reflecting all of that in the marketplace. So I'm so glad that you decided to be join me. And as I finish off, please stay in touch. And yeah, as I finish off, my name is Stella Olivia Kikoyo, and you can find me at the StellaWomanMag.com. That's where you find most of the work that I do. And you can email Stella at StellaWomanMag.com or stella.chikoyo@gmail.com. It has been lovely talking to you, sharing my knowledge and experience. Take care and stand into your unique proposition that you have achieved in today's session, and go and change the world. Until next time, bye bye.